Okay, dear friends, we will continue our lecture number 20 of TYBSc Geology, particularly of cell and molecular biology. And now, last time we have seen how the replication takes place in prokaryotes. Now we will see the DNA replication in eukaryotes. How the eukaryotic cells are responsible for the replication. DNA replication in eukaryotes is shown diagrammatically in this way. A single strand bifurcates into two strands, and these both strands make their complementary strands, or we can say DNA strands, and new DNA is formed. How DNA strand of eukaryotic cell has ability to make its own copy. This process is called replication. The double DNA double helix has two strands united by hydrogen bonds between the purines and pyrimidine bases or base pairs. When the hydrogen bonds, the two strands separate and unwind. The nucleus contains free nucleotides and their nitrogen bases are adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine. DNA fulfills the requirement of genetic material that have ability to replicate, and this is the figure which shows 5' strand and 3' strand, and they form their complementary is 3', but 3' have developed another new strand of 5' and 3' 5' pairing is formed here in this newly formed strand. The same way is here, this 3' strand is forming a 5' new strand with that, because 5' strand is the original strand, and in this way 3' strand is newly formed there too, and in this way this is called as Okazaki fragment. This is the new strand formed is Okazaki fragment along with this pair, and in this way these two new strands are formed in, and this newly formed strand is binded by, or pairing is made by, or correlation is matched by DNA polymerase enzyme. So here is the DNA polymerase enzyme which plays a key role in this binding, and this is a helicase, DNA helicase, which bifurcates these two strands, and DNA primase is the joining here, and in this way these binding proteins, these are the binding proteins. These binding proteins are also combined together and forming or help to form the new strands. So this is the simple process of DNA replication. Next, interphase. Replication takes place during interphase between two mitotic cycles. The meiosis proceeded during interphase. The replication of DNA is not occurring during interkinesis between the first and second meiotic division. A small amount of DNA synthesis also takes place in the prophase of meiosis. The amount of DNA doubles during interphase. In anaphase of mitosis, the amount of DNA is distributed between the two daughter cells. DNA synthesis occurs in S phase, therefore it is called as synthesis phase or synthetic phase. Semi-conservative replication. Replication we have seen, the bifurcation of the strand and forming two new different strands, but semi-conservative Watson and Crick model of DNA is able to replicate itself and shows three modes of replication. So replication have three different modes, that is conservative mode, semi-conservative mode, and dispersive mode. In conservative mode, the double helices formed one would be of entire old material and the other will be of entire new material, is called as conservative mode of replication. In semi-conservative replication, each strand of two double helices, formed have one old and one new strand. In dispersive method of replication, the double helix of DNA would break at many points and forms many pieces. Each piece would replicate and forms the new strand, and the double helices formed would have a patchwork of one and old and one new pieces. And in this way, these three methods of replication are forming by three different ways, by combining, joining, or making the helices of the strands. And in this way, conservative and semi-conservative and dispersive method of replication occurs. Now, how the replication initiate, how it starts. The initiation of DNA synthesis starts in specific chromosomal locations. There are so many replicating units or replicons arranged on DNA of the chromosomes. Replication is initiated in each replicon where an incision is made by an enzyme, endonuclease. At the point of replication, what happens? The enzyme endonuclease causes the incision, or we can say a small break, from where the strand divides into two and the replication actually starts. So the enzyme endonuclease is responsible for the formation of replication strand. At the beginning, what happens? The first proteins to bind the DNA are said to recruit the other proteins. These recruiting proteins have two copies of an enzyme called as helicase, which recruit the proteins to the origin. And the DNA double helix is spirally coiled strand, but the two strands unwind and separate for replication. This is facilitated by unwinding proteins, that is DNA binding proteins. First of all, a Y-shaped replication fork is formed, that we have already seen in the previous two diagrams. The replication forks are extended to the both directions and create a replication bubble in eukaryotic and forms another strand of Y in eukaryotic. Prokaryotic and eukaryotic, the binding of two helicases result in formation of two replication forks, and each fork may have about 200 molecules of proteins to strengthen the strands. Each molecule of the unwinding protein binds to DNA. It enhances the binding of the next molecule. This results in further unwinding of the double helix. In eukaryotic chromosomes, there are multiple origins of replication where replication occurs simultaneously. Means at replication occurs simultaneously, even though it starts at the multiple origins. So in this way, the replication forms two forks or two strands from a single strand. Elongation is the another way or another process during which a chain of DNA polymerase enzyme plays key role in elongation of chain by adding new nucleotides to the 3' end of the newly synthesized polynucleotide strand. And during this process, the specification of addition of DNA molecule nucleotides like adenine, thymine, cytosine or guanine added at each position on the new chain, and in this way the complementary chain is formed there too and a complete DNA strand is formed. DNA polymerase shows a groove that allows it to bind a single stranded template DNA and travel nucleotides from 3' end one by one up to the end of the strand. DNA polymerase cannot initiate synthesis of new strand. DNA polymerase cannot initiate synthesis of new strand. Instead, it adds new nucleotides at the 3' end of the existing strand. Means it, if it is not synthesizing, but it can add some nucleotides to the 3' end. Means it helps in elongation of the chain, not synthesis of the strand. And the newly synthesized polynucleotide strands must be initiated by a special RNA polymerase enzyme called as primase, or we can say primer. Primase enzyme initiates synthesis of new polynucleotide strand complementary to the template DNA strand, and this short stretch of RNA nucleotide is called as primer. We have seen in our previous lecture that detailed of primer. In this way, new strand extends continuously. So these are, the repetition is going on with some separate topics because of the better understanding to you, so that you can write it by your own way in the examination. The DNA polymerase moves with the direction of replication fork, and the synthesized new strand is known as leading strand. Actually, we have seen in previous lecture leading strand and lagging strand called as Okazaki strand. The other strand complementary to the 5'3' parental DNA, which is extended in discontinuous manner away from replication fork, is known as Okazaki fragments. These fragments needs primer for synthesis by adding selected nucleotides. The strand with the Okazaki fragments is known as mutants, is known as lagging strand, because leading strand and lagging strand, these are the opposites. A newly formed strand. The gaps between DNA fragments are sealed by an enzyme called as polynucleotide ligase. So ligase is the binding enzyme. In mutants, the Okazaki fragments are impaired due to defective ligase. If the ligase is not proper, the Okazaki fragments will be impaired, will not be properly paired and joined thereto. And in this way, we will concise here the topic before starting the new chapter. If any doubts or problems are there, you can welcome. This topic is repeated for the well-being of you. So chapter is finished here, and if you have some questions, you welcome. Otherwise, I will put some questions to this end of the chapter next time. Whenever we will start our lecture, we will throw a light over the objectives if possible. In this way, we have seen in previous topic or previous speech about the initiation and replication. What are the enzymes responsible for that? What are the types of modes of replication, conservative, semi-conservative, disruptive, and this is the replication unit in eukaryotic cells or eukaryotes. So we will have a break here for today's lecture and we will continue in the next. Okay, see you till then. Good day.